Welcome to the Polytopia Interviewer, where I interview people on their experiences and views on the Polytopia Discord community. I have Espark with me today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks very much for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of pep in your voice. So my first question is, what's it like being on the IMO newspaper team?
I have a lot of fun. I enjoy writing articles for the newspaper. The team is great. I mean, one thing you learn in life, projects are a lot more fun if you get to work with people. It feels less like a job. I mean, the other thing I like about being on the newspaper is I get to interview people like this, get to analyze trends, I get to be involved in the communities.
What kind of news do you usually cover?
There's two main news sections for the newspaper. We have a Polytopia news, and then we have an IMO news, and then we usually have special features as well. The Polytopia news is really based on events and announcements, and then IMO news is like what's happening in the IMO server. But then, we try to mix up the special features. Like sometimes we have art. We usually have Reddit highlights, but we have interviews also.
Yeah, I've been following along for a little while now.
Cool.
Though I don't always keep up to date very often. So how do you and your team usually make a new edition of the paper?
It's changed a little bit over time. I look back, we started doing it in May 2020. But currently the way we do it is it's a weekly paper, so it comes out every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So usually in the middle of the week, like maybe a Wednesday or Tuesday, we start talking about ideas. There's a public channel in the IMO server, IMOIA, where anybody can discuss article ideas. But we also, the reporter staff, have a private chat where we discuss topics, plan. So usually in the middle of the week, we throw ideas. Like, for example, this week, Druid attended Zoe's story time where he talked about plans for the game dates. Like, I couldn't attend that, but Druid did. Usually Sunday morning, we finalize the content and proofread it, and then we publish it on Sunday.
Sounds like a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. The IMO Tribes is the only fan-based poly news source that is still actively creating content. What's your comment on that?
I mean, on the one hand, I'm really proud that our newspaper is still going, and there are plenty of times where I wasn't sure we'd still be doing this. Like I said, I looked it up. Our first edition was in May of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We've had challenges. I understand that it takes a lot of communication and dedication to keep the newspaper going. So I understand. They really like the other newspapers, and I tried to support them. I like the Kiku paper. I think Madrid had one, and I'm sad the Aquazine. But I don't know. I think the Aquazine may not be gone forever. I'm hopeful that it's going to continue.
They released a December special.
Yeah. I've contributed 2 articles to the Aquazine. I think it's good to have different points of view and different tribe voices. I think it's good for the community. I hope there are other fan publications that either start or, again, that the Aquazine continues.
To my knowledge, there is the IMO Times, the Aquazine magazine, the Kiku newspaper, which hasn't released an edition since October, November. And then there's also the Polytopian Art Gallery Journal. But since it was a team of one person that was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore in October, it died.
Yeah.
So there are other ones out there, but not that many. I was part of the Kiku newspaper myself, but it was the opposite problem with that one because you had a bunch of different people that either didn't contribute much or just forgot. So you're like the perfect in-between team of working on it. And you actually get stuff done.
It's really a balance because you need people who are enthusiastic and active, but you also need reliable people who are going to show up. It's a big challenge. I mean, nobody's getting paid to do this, right? It's just for fun.
Nope. What are some of your responsibilities as admin of IMOIA?
I think it's the same as being an admin on other servers. I try to show up and keep the place active and help people if they have questions. I don't actually do a lot of
administration.
I don't warn people when they break the rules. I don't have to do a lot of punishment stuff.
That's nice.
Amoy is pretty relaxed. Mostly, we're just not that strict about politics or religion or sexual topics. Like, as long as everybody's respectful and civil, we're fine. I mean, we even have just a couple not safe for work channels.
So you represent quite a wide range of views.
Mostly, it's just teenagers talking about annoying, random teenage nonsense.
Which highly implies that you aren't a teenager.
Oh, I am not. I'm a middle-aged woman.
Yeah, I was kind of guessing that based on your voice.
But, we also have sections for art, and we have Dungeons and Dragons, which I think we'll get to later, and the newspaper. But it's mostly just teenage boys blathering about stuff.
What? They don't have anything else better to do?
Yeah, it's procrastination and complaining about homework.
I'm guilty of that sometimes as well, but I have plenty of other things to keep me busy and my own server to run, so.
Nice.
You got me really curious as I was poking around iMoya. Why is the highest role some cool title?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why I have that role. I think Pi Kappa, the former tribe leader for IMO, gave me that. I think it's partially a joke and partially an honor. But if you poke around, you'll see there's a lot of strange roles in Imoya that I don't really know why they're there. They're just jokes. Oh, I think it's just mostly a joke, but a little bit of flattery, maybe.
Okay. You're very active on the main server. Would you be able to tell me what you all do there?
Like you were saying before, it's great for procrastination.
Welcoming people? You're quite active with that.
Yeah. Mostly in the IMO tribe chat. That's my most frequent. But I'm in the fan areas, in the new member, the welcoming, and I'm also really a lot in PolyCraft. So I'm all over the place. I avoid general. I don't like that as much. But I like to chat with people about the game. I like to be helpful if people have questions about how to use the bot.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest hurdles for new players.
Yeah. I think I counted once, and I think I've helped like over a dozen people walk them through how to do the ELO bot and play practice games with them. So I do that.
That's cool.
Just chatting with people.
Yeah, according to a statistics bot, you have 200 messages a day, so you're pretty active there.
I think I average closer to 300 a day.
So is the main server where you tend to find the most news?
Yeah, I think the main server is the focal point for most of the Polytopia community. I mean, I'm not on Reddit. I know that that's a big source as well. But yeah, I feel like the main server.
Because it's so broad and includes almost everything.
Exactly.
There is also some challenges on main. Have you participated in any of the challenges?
Yeah, like the art challenges or the contests?
Either or.
I usually participate in all the art challenges. I think I've done every single one. I've come in first place in one of them, the Sandcastle one that was in July.
Oh, I remember that one.
As much as I admire the in-game challenges, I find that they're mostly just time-consuming spawn shopping.
Yeah.
It's not really a test of skill. I mean, you do need skill, but I feel like with those, mostly it's just sitting down for several hours, grinding through spawns till you get the perfect lucky spot. I do love the art ones. I do all of them. I did the cooking one. I made a video for the Vengear one. It's fun.
Wow. And you're also on the Polytopian Art Gallery as well, and won a competition there. How did you achieve it?
Yeah, I really like the Polytopian Art Gallery server. It's a really great group, and we all kind of support each other and encourage each other. I think the challenge I won there was you had to make a piece of art based on the name of a Polytopia game, and I think I chose King and Gardens or something like that, or Garden and Kings. And Kiku and Larian, Luxador. To be honest with you, the ones I usually win are the ones where not very many people enter submissions. So, if I get first place out of 3 entries, it's not a big achievement.
Well, that's still the top 33%.
Yeah, but it's fun. I just enjoy making art, and it's just a different way to use my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I've submitted some writing challenges in the art gallery, but I think they have a new admin. I don't think there's been an art challenge there in a while. So I hope to see more things going there.
Yeah, I think one of their challenges is getting new members. Tried to help the
Mm-hmm.
owner with that for a bit, and then things happened.
You might know more about it than I do, but I feel like it's
Probably
just a
not.
change in leadership. The new owner, I forget who the new owner is. I want to say it was used to be KTON, right?
KT7 on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not sure who
Not
the
sure.
admin is. They're not online right now.
I was guessing it was either T Shadow or. Anyways, I don't remember.
Hmm. There's still hope for the server.
Yeah, I think they're just sorting out how they want to do it going forward.
Mm-hmm. And especially with management transfer, like bunch of roadblocks and bumps there.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the main server for a little bit. How does the
Okay.
karaoke event usually work?
So we used to have them more regularly, like once a month. We had one just yesterday. The way it works is we take turns either singing, playing musical instruments, and we do it in music rehearsal, voice channel for music
Mm-hmm.
rehearsal. A lot of people don't perform. Most of the people just listen. They're too shy or whatever. We have a queue and people take turns. We have a lot of really talented musicians in the community. Have you ever listened in on a karaoke?
Just yesterday, for a brief while, I had some other
Yeah.
things to complete.
Just to list off some of the people, like Gucci, right? So Gucci plays the electric guitar. Pretz, or sometimes he's Pretzali, he plays violin. Dan, OMG Dan, he plays piano and guitar. AC, or Rit, he plays clarinet. Radio, she sings and plays ukulele. Druid plays a euphonium. Yesterday we had Dragon playing his trombone. But then there's other people like me and Just Snip and Mr. Mesa and Doc, and we just sing with a music video in the background, like regular karaoke.
Mm-hmm. That's quite a range of people and talents we got there.
Yeah, you'd be impressed. We have a lot of really talented people. It's fun.
I noticed that you're in Adventures of Polytopia, but haven't really been active. Do you still do
Yeah.
D&D sessions?
Oh, that's a great question. So I do play D&D, but not through the Adventures of Polytopia. I run a Polytopia themed D&D campaign in the IMO server. We've been playing since May. We have a group of about 7 players, but some of them don't come to every single session. It's a Polytopia themed world. We have a human Luxador bard, dwarf Zinzi fighter. We have a Quetzali dragonborn. Oh, and then our wizard is Hilarion. We've had other players that have cycled through. We used to have a Yadak dragonborn and a range, but they've left. So we've had about maybe 10 players altogether, and currently we have like 6 players. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I've actually been a DM for like over 15 years.
Wow.
So not this campaign. This campaign, again, we haven't even made it a year, which is
Yeah.
actually pretty good. 9 months for a D&D campaign is really great. Usually they peter out within the first month or so.
Yeah, I actually was in a D&D campaign myself. It was a bunch of college friends, and then after a couple sessions, everybody just got magically busy. So it never
Yeah,
happened.
that's very normal. I think that's actually more common. People think like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, let's do D&D, or the DM, maybe they've never done it before, and they're like, yeah, I want to run a campaign, and then either you have scheduling conflicts, the DM gets in over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have interpersonal conflicts, or just different play styles, and then yeah, it peters out.
And then you also have the people that want to actually kind of stick to a script and the people that just want to mess around in the tavern.
That's right. It's a balance between people who want to screw around and like, hey, let's attack the tree. And you're like,
why?
Or, oh, that innkeeper's offering me a quest. I'm going to kill him. And you're like, no, he's the quest. Don't, oh.
Wow, we might have to cover some of your D&D sessions in the future.
Oh, I did have to kick out one player. He was our Vengear gnome rogue, and he kept just stealing things and attacking people. And he was like, but that's what my rogue Vengear would do. Like, I just...
Chaotic evil?
I had a quest giver, like a nice old lady who was like, I want you to go find my lost son. And he's like, I'm going to kill her.
Why?
And he did. He attacked her. And I'm like, okay, you find in her room like a note that says she's worried about her lost son. Like, I had to figure out how to give him the quest. Anyways, but yes, I agree. That's a balance between fooling around and actually doing the quest. That person is no longer in our group anymore. We have a well-balanced group right now, I think.
Yeah, you can't exactly group in lawful good and chaotic good people in the same party. It doesn't really work.
I think it more depends on the personality of the players. They can make it work if the players can collaborate.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
I just mentioned a super broad general sense.
Yeah.
You are still in Polytopia beta. How big of an impact do you think you made with all your contributions?
Well, I didn't do too much in beta. I joined in February 2020.
Which is pretty early.
That was to do help with the Steam version. So I got a Steam key from Zoe, and I think it was when I was appointed as a tribe leader. That was before TLs were elected. Yeah, he asked me, like, how many games do you play? And I'm like, I play a lot. So I got the Steam beta. And I helped troubleshoot bugs, and I tried to find problems. I reported a lot of bugs for Steam before it was released. But after that, I didn't have any beta access. Like, I didn't get the mobile Moonrise beta, so I didn't help with that. And I haven't been involved with the beta. Yeah, I remember there was one point where I was playing in a Steam beta, and I put down ports, and they connected, and then the next turn they unconnected, and I was
no!
And I lost station in the cities, and I was like, give me my port, I need my population. And, there's a lot of weird glitches like that.
Yeah, ports seem to cause quite a few issues throughout the game, regardless of versions. I've seen, don't remember who it was, they were talking to another pro player on PolyChamps about, I was supposed to have those two ports connect. I was depending upon that, but they didn't connect. So I'm not relying on that anymore.
Yeah. I had the same problem with ports recently. It was almost the opposite. I assumed ports would not connect. So I'm like, oh, that's too far away. They're 4 squares apart. They're not going to connect. So
it's actually up to 5 tiles.
Well, it's trickier than that. So the way,
True.
But I know what you mean. I count it by the space between the ports. So, situation I was looking at was that there were 4 tiles between the ports, not including the ports. And I was like, that's not going to connect. It's too far. So I didn't count on it. But there were like 2 whales. So if I had known that those ports would have connected, I would have put a port there, and I could have expanded borders and eaten the whales. So eventually later in the game, I did put a port there for other reasons, and it made a connection. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, now I forget which person. I think it was either Arctic Fox or Artemis who looked at the code, and they realized the ports had to do with Euclidean geometry. So the 5 squares actually is basically as the crow flies. I think of it with 3 in between, but you're right, it's 5. Even if it's across land, it will connect. If you want, I'll show you the post that she figured it out.
Yes, please, because that would have taken me forever to figure out. And relatively recently, I figured out that if you don't know navigation, it can't go through deep ocean tiles.
And the great thing is they actually made a bot or a website where you can put in the thing and it'll figure out if the ports will connect. It'll do the calculation for you. So when we're offline, I'll find that for you.
Yes, that is cool. Because I want to share it with a lot of newer players because I'm sure they would love to know that. Though some won't care. Oh, well, I'm going to show it to everybody anyways.
I'll find it for you later.
Awesome.
They've made a calculator for it in GitHub.
I noticed you're also a contributor for the Poly calculator too.
Oh, yeah. That's just because I gave JD money.
Yeah. But see, not a lot of people give money, so you're very important.
It's just because I'm old and I have a good job.
Hmm. That's fair
But
enough.
I really like JD's bot. It's so good. Alpha Seahorse. He's very talented, and I use that bot every day. I think it's really great. I used to use the website. Oh, I forget who made the Poly Calculator website, which is great, but it's not as easy to use as the bot.
I suppose easy to use is relative, but yeah, roughly.
Yes, I agree. And it took me actually probably 2 or 3 weeks of practicing with the Poly Calculator bot before I could get all the syntax and all the right dots and all the right.
Mm-hmm.
But once you learn the abbreviations and the commands, then it's faster than going out to the website. And actually, it's funny. So Steve had to convince me because he was like, "Why aren't you using my bot?" And I'm like, "Because I like the website." And he's like, "But mine is faster." And I'm like, "No, I never remember the commands and I never remember the abbreviations." And he's like, "No, just use it for a little while and you'll see it's better." And he's right. So if you stick with it and get used to it, it's much superior.
Yeah, I just personally, I don't get into those situations very often, and
Yeah.
a small part of the time I actually know some of the numbers, so I'm able to do parts of it in my head. Usually, I don't use it much, so I haven't
Yeah.
got to learning it yet. Would you consider yourself to be a quote gamer girl and social butterfly based on
Oh,
your activity and such?
yeah. I think I used those words at some point. I'm absolutely a gamer girl, although it's more the alliteration that they both start with the letter G because I'm not much of a girl anymore. But yes, definitely. I mean, I spend most of my free time playing video games and board games and role playing games. Like I said, I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, Assassin's Creed. I've done the whole Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm really enjoying Valhalla right now.
And Witcher 3?
Oh, yeah. Witcher was good. It was a solid game. It had some glitches, like when your horse would get stuck running into a wall or something like
Oh,
that. Yeah, I played it on PC, but it was good. I really liked Witcher 3. It was good. I love the Fallout, except for 76. 76 was garbage, but like Fallout 3 and 4 and New Vegas. I mean, Social Butterfly. Yeah, I mean, I'm very friendly and chatty, and in real life, I'm not shy. I'm not shy online. I like to interact with people and hear people's stories. Those are both terms that I think apply to me.
okay. So let's shift to Poly Champs. What's it like to be
Sure.
in the Bombers?
I have to say, I'm very grateful to be in the PolyChamps team and in the Bombers in particular. I have learned so much about the game from my teammates. Our leader in particular, Snoop, although he goes by a different name. He's just a genius. Like, he's just so smart, and he's coached me a lot, and the other players too. They're very patient with me. I'm a senior on the team, although I'm really not one of the big brains there. But I'm also a recruiter, which again, I'm chatty and friendly and social.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to reach out to people and schmooze. And I would have stopped playing Polytopia a long time ago if it was not for my team. I would have gone bored, done something else. I think bombers have a good sense of humor. They know how to have fun. But they also don't make people feel bad if they make a mistake or if they lose. I mean, on the one hand, they take the game seriously. They expect everybody to do their best to win, but they don't bully you if you screw up. You know, they're just like, "Oh, okay, well, feel lot. That's a mistake." And, you know, they also know that real life is a priority. Polytopia is just the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy to be on a team. Are you in a Polychamps team?
I am part of the Vikings. I'm just a Valkyrie, though. I don't dedicate a lot of time, so I don't think I'll be a Viking anytime soon. Still fun. Still manage to make a lot of small mistakes that of different kinds of them throughout the time, but I'll eventually learn.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really the value of being on a team is you have more senior players who can coach you and teach you, and you have a community where you can ask and learn. In Maine, they ask like, oh, how do you get good at Polytopia? I'm like, it's really with learning from other people and doing coaching.
And communicating. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned so much from joining multiplayer that it's hilarious how short of a time it was. Yet I learned so much. Because for me, I started playing roughly when it started, on and off. It's like, oh, it's a pretty good game, but now I can beat crazy boss with these. Do all of them. Oh, well, that was super easy. A Discord. That's just social media for gamers, right? Oh my gosh, look at all this stuff!
There's so much stuff. Yeah, one of the things I say all the time is playing against bots. Bots are predictable. Human opponents are much more interesting.
Yeah, even though they sometimes do a strategy that is very strange.
But that's surprising and delightful sometimes, and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the joy of, again, playing against human opponents. Sometimes they are also predictable, but it's more interesting. It's more challenging.
But you have to wait for them to do your turn. They're not instant.
Oh. I'm one of those people that plays very slow. New players pop in all the time and they say, who wants a quick game?
Define quick.
Yeah, everyone's looking for a quick game, which I think means like in one sitting, basically. Let's sit down for half an hour a game. And I do not do that because I learned that I make mistakes when I play fast. I do much better if we take my time. Again, ask teammates for advice.
Mm-hmm.
I warn people when they're like, hey, you want a match? I say, okay, I'm just going to tell you, I only take my turns like once or twice a day.
Hey, you're a lot better than me. I usually do it all in almost one sitting or manage to time out in 7-day timers. I just don't open it on Steam much.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't enjoy Steam version. I almost never play anymore. I play on mobile because when I'm on my computer, I'm going to do other things. Like, I don't want to play Polytopia on my computer. Again, there's other better games you can play.
Yeah. Imperius is your third most logged tribe. What's your opinion on them?
Well, first of all, I rarely log tribes. So
I'm guilty of that as well.
Yeah. But as far as Imperius, I would just say it's basic. It's solid. It's fine. It's not the best tribe. It's not the worst tribe. It's fine. I'm comfortable playing all the tribes, and I feel like if you're a good player, you can play any tribe.
Yeah, you just might not want to do Aquarian for a ranked game, but yeah.
But I think if somebody wants to do an Aquarian mirror match, like that could be fun.
That's fine.
If somebody says, hey, let's do a 1v1, what tribes do you want to play? I really enjoy the mirror matches, but I usually propose things like, let's do Hoodrick.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll play any tribe. People ask you, like, what tribe do you main? Right? And I'm like, I don't. And it depends on the map, and it depends on your opponent, and it depends if you're in a 2v2 or a 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't main.
But you're supposed to main Barger.
No. I mean, they're good. They're probably the strongest tribe to play right now.
Yeah, because of easy access to chopping.
Yeah, it used to be Luxador before Moonrise. Barger. It's not even the chopping. I think it's more that they have a lot of animals, and then you can get a giant faster.
The animals combined with the chopping, yeah, it's a really big power play. So you don't really have a favorite tribe per se, then?
No, I don't have a favorite tribe. I don't like Vengir. They're the one tribe I do not.
Because they are the opposite of the IMO ideals.
I've told this story before, but I kind of got into IMO by accident. I don't really have an affinity for the IMO tribe, like, in the game.
Oh, please do share your history. How did you end up like that?
So, you didn't ask about this, but I also like to write fan fiction for Polytopia. I don't know if you knew about that. I definitely write more fan fiction for Polytopia than anyone else because I'm probably the only one, but I've written dozens of stories. This was before the 2019 Tribe Duels. There was a point where I was writing a fan fiction and I was tribe hopping because I wanted to talk to some tribe leaders to get insight for some characters that I was writing. And a lot of my fan fiction uses names of people in the server as characters. And I was trying to ask Azure some things, and then the tribe duel started. And then you weren't allowed to tribe hop anymore. You had to stay. So I just stayed in IMO through all summer 2019, which was probably, I would say, like the golden age of the server. It was more active than any other time that I've seen because the tribe duels and then Polaris came out that same time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That was huge. Like, there was just so much activity. I was in Imperius. I was in lots of other tribes.
Even Omaji?
I don't remember.
Hmm.
I went to Kiku. I went to Bardur. I was mostly reading because at that point they had pinned strategy guides. You couldn't get the strategy guides other places. They had pinned strategy guides in each of the tribe chats. So if you wanted to learn the best strategy for Kiku, you had to go into Kiku chat and look at the pin.
Mm-hmm. You seem happy with how it ended up, though.
Yeah, I really liked the IMO group. At the time, it was Azure and Pi Kappa and Rit, and Druid came a little bit later. I'm probably forgetting some other people. Oh, yeah, Myriad. And during the Tribe Duels, we had an amazing coalition of really talented players, and I learned a lot from that. I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. SK Reelder? He's very talented.
We touched a little bit on PolyCraft, but we haven't really gotten over it yet. So, how involved would you say you are in PolyCraft?
I'm very involved. I think that's kind of the new fun thing to do in the server right now because we don't have tribe duels and we don't have a new tribe yet. So I think the kind of fun, exciting focus right now is PolyCraft. I didn't really play Minecraft before. I played it a little bit with my children, and actually I used my child's account.
Oh!
Yeah. Are you kidding? My kids play PolyCraft as much as I do. Like half the time, if you see my character wandering around in PolyCraft, it's one of my kids. It's not me. Yeah. No, this one time, one of my kids, I call her Mini Spark. She went in and she put dirt all over my IMO house.
So you griefed yourself.
That's the thing. So other players were like, oh my gosh, Espark, someone covered your house in dirt. Like they thought someone in the server. And then we thought about it a little bit. It's like, but my house is claimed. Okay, so that means only I can place blocks or break blocks. So I could only be the one who put dirt on my house. So I had to ask my children, I said, who put dirt on my house? And it was my youngest child. And I said, what did you do that for? And she said, it was a prank.
Well, that little prank caused quite a bit of drama.
When I started, it really was Minecraft noob. And honestly, I'm still really am a noob when it comes to Minecraft. But my kids have taught me, and also the people who play PolyCraft have been very kind. I've gotten a lot of resources, people teaching me how to do things, learning how the game works. I mostly like to build stuff and explore. I do not enjoy PvP, or there's a mini game. It's called Bed Wars.
Oh, I don't quite remember how that works.
You played Bed Wars?
No, I don't think I have.
So I played it once. There's basically floating islands, like in space, and the goal is to destroy your opponent's bed and then kill them so that they cannot respawn because they don't have a bed. And you can get resources. There's like automatic resource generators that pop up gold and iron and whatever, and then they're trying to build things to protect your bed, or you will be aggressive and you go break through the other person's stuff and kill them. It's a very popular mini game.
Yeah, I've only ever really played Sky Wars and Hunger Games for a bit, and that was a while ago.
It's fun. Again, the community's fun. I think right now Zoid has set this paradox in they want to get more people to play PolyCraft, but the more people causes more lag.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have too much lag, then people can't actually play the game. It's frustrating. And then people leave. So it's this awkward balance where they want more players, but they're at the level where if they get more players, it's going to make the game too laggy to even play.
Yeah, they got to upgrade their server hardware first, sounds like.
Well, and then the limit with that, Zoe says, is he has a fixed budget that he gets from Mijiwan. Like Mijiwan pays for the server. I think Zoe said he gets like $80 a month to pay for the server, and that's all they have. And so if they want more, they have to either get creative or get more money, or I don't know. It's this paradox. It's this real challenge that they have right now. But I think they recently put out a request for more mods. So they want to get more staff to help either with building and organizing events or come up with ideas. So we'll see. They do need more mods. Jasnip and Mochi are the two that are actually on the server. They can't do it themselves. They need help.
Remind me, how many members are part of PolyCraft?
That's a really good question. Okay, so the server right now, the maximum number of people who can be on at any one time is 50. And usually when I go on, I see maybe 10 to 30 people playing.
Okay.
So if I had to estimate, there's not more than 100 players total, and they're not all on at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would say there's probably maybe 30 to 50 active PolyCraft people, and then there's a lot of people who went on and played for a week or two and then claimed something and built something, and then they haven't come back. Right? There's a lot of that too.
Haha, I have made my permanent mark. I will now leave.
Yeah. I really like it. And like I said, I never even played Minecraft much before. Leave it to Polytopia to get me to play Minecraft. That's what happened.
Well, PolyCraft, you just mash them together and voila!
Voila! Is that what you were asking about PolyCraft? Or did you want to know more about it or how it works? Or
up to you.
I've only learned all these terms recently, but it's a vanilla multiplayer server.
No mods, basically.
It has some mods. It has an economy mod. So there's an in-game currency called Zoibucks.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And there are merchants that are created by the mods to sell stuff. So you can exchange your Zoibucks for quartz or tools. And there's warping mods. So there's there's homes. You can teleport to different homes. There's also claiming, right? So you can claim, like my house was claimed, so other people couldn't grief it. So there's definitely some plugins and mods. There's, again, the economy and the warping.
Yeah.
The thing is, from my point of view, right now, the PolyCraft is trying to be lots of different things at once and not succeeding really well at any one of them. So it wants to be like an economy server. So you have these Zoibucks and you have these. But then the problem is we've had this is inflation. People just farm pumpkins or something. They have so many Zoibucks and it's just like ridiculous. And they've had to reset the economy once already. And other people wanted to make it like a PvP server. Like, this is a battle of Polytopia. Like, we should be able to fight. We should be able to take territory and kill each other. And other people are like, no. Myself, personally, I'm not interested in PvP. And then there's the role play aspect. Like, the Illyrian people, they had a little subsection at one point where they were like, we're not going to kill any animals because Illyrian doesn't chop trees or kill animals. And everyone was like, but that's Minecraft. Like, in Minecraft, you have to chop trees.
Yeah, how does that work?
But there was this group of Illyrian who were role-playing as if they were that tribe. And that's fun, whatever. It's a challenge for them to play it, fine. But it was frustrating, I think, for some of the other Illyrian who were like, no. So it's like, it wants to be PvP, economy, role-play, faction. And I feel like right now the mods, they just don't have a good vision of how to make it work. But it's still relatively new. I think PolyCraft only started in...
It was pretty recently, like 5 months ago or something?
Yeah.
That also applies to making new tribe or whatever Polytopia servers as well. You can have a bunch of things and, oh, we have all these things. We have general, we have memes, we have this Quetzalli thing, we have corn spam, we have other spam, we have all these things. What is this server about? I don't know. It's all these things. I wonder
Yes.
why it's not doing so well on members.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, in the main, this recent rework, I feel like, shifted more towards art, streaming, and I feel like there was less focus on competitive play. Like, they took away the advanced strategy channel. They took out something else. And they still haven't revised the restart rules. They've been talking about revising the ELO ranked game restart rules ever since Moonrise was released. They still haven't done that. So I feel like their focus is kind of all over the place. And it's the same with PolyCraft. PolyCraft is like, okay, what do you want us to be? If you want us to be a PvP server, then you have to set up rules or events or something, some structure so that people can do that. It feels scattered. This doesn't feel like there's a mission, a vision.
Yeah, that fits perfectly. The opposite of that is kind of why the server I started is doing so well. I don't know if you've heard of it. Friendly plug, haha. So
yeah, no, tell me about your server. I don't know about it.
So I don't want to spill all the details because that would go way too long. We can always schedule for another meeting, but basically it's called Friendly Polytopia. It specializes in unranked games. So that is a very clear vision. We get new people. I have a thread that a newer player commented, it's the most comprehensive poly-yellow guide ever. And I'm like, I'll take your word for it. I just wrote down.
That's great.
There's also a bunch of other things, and we occasionally do tournaments, though that's not the focus. Yeah, it was just have a bunch of newer players getting together, and then after a little while, we got poly-yellow with the help of Nelik, which let us be able to have better matchmaking and whatever not. And of course, there's lots of other problems, but it's sitting at 240 real members, so I'm saying it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, and I really like that because there are a lot of players who are intimidated by competitive play, games. There are lots of players who just want to play for fun. They just want to find a casual game. No pressure, just have some fun. So that you have that space is really great. And I agree, like sometimes it's good to have focus. I think it was one of the IMO members, Myriad, was saying, including the channel in main, the YouTube, that there's like a YouTube, Polytube or something. It spread the focus of main to broad, and that you'd have people leaving main to go watch YouTube. And there are Discord channels that are devoted, like Gully. Gully has his own server.
Yeah, he does a mix of other content as well, but yes, I agree, he has his own Polytopia section.
Right. But I think Myriad's point was, when you go too broad and you send people all over, you can get too scattered, I guess is his point. He didn't like that they had the Polytube because he thought it would draw people to other servers. He's like, you could just have a server that's just Polytopia YouTube. That would be better.
There actually is a server. It's pretty dead, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I think your idea for your server is great. I applaud that.
It's generalized enough, but still focused.
I probably wouldn't play there because I do like the ranked games. I do like competitive ones.
Yeah, before the reset, you were 1,400. Do you plan on getting back to that anytime soon?
Oh, yes. It's slow going. It took me a long time to get to 1,400 ELO, and I don't understand the ELO formula that well, but I do get the sense that a lot of it is volume. Just the more games you play, the higher your ELO. And there were times when I would play like 30 games at once. So I would just churn through games really fast. And even if I didn't win most of them, the way the ELO formula works, it benefits just playing a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the reset, everybody went back to 1,000. And I have been playing some ranked games. The struggle is all the really experienced players are in the same ELO. So all these really good players are scrambling to get their ELO up. So there's not a lot of noobs around for me to play. Oh, I think you asked it. I was going to say one of the reasons why I'm not playing as many ranked ELO games because I have the season and then I do the Facebook League.
That was my next question.
Yeah. I like the 1v1 Facebook.
Yeah, could you tell me how that works?
Yeah, so you have to be in Facebook. You have to have a Facebook account.
What?
What? Yeah. But I've been in the Facebook 1v1 League for over a year. I think I started last October. It's really well organized. Erwin is the one who runs it, and he's very good. But it has several divisions, and it's ranked like a pyramid. So Division 4 is entry point, and there's Division 3, which is a little bit better for skilled players. And you just play 1v1s. But the thing is, you play a lot of games at once. So the division has 10 players, and you each play each other, each as a host and away. So there's 20 games. Individual player plays 18 because you don't play yourself. But you have to play 18 games within a short period of time. So that can take up a lot of my Polytopia bandwidth, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing the Facebook League, I don't do as many ranked games in the main server because, again, I just only have so much brain power.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy the Facebook League. The restart rules are excellent. The administrators are excellent. It's fun. Everybody's good sports. I think I like it better than Maine does ELO. Because they have their own ranking. They have something called a power ranking, which is similar to ELO, but it's not. They have a ranking, and it's really good to find a match. Like I was in Division 2 for a couple seasons, but now I'm back in Division 3, but it's great.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it has some similarities to the Giants League and Polyladder combined.
I think it's more like Polyladder, but again, it's like a division. So you're grouped 10 people over the course of a couple months. And then the top 2 players from that division graduate. They go up to the other division, and the lowest 2 players go down. They get demoted to the lower division.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably more similar to the latter. Giants League is a big free-for-all, though, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they have similar multiple games at once. That was the only similarity I could find. Do you happen to have a favorite strategy?
I don't know. I mean, you can't boil it down to one single thing. It's too complex for that.
Yeah, certainly. It's just like, assuming all the variables lined up and you got to do this strategy, would you go, yes, I love this strategy, or something like that?
No, I think you really have to just keep an open mind and be flexible and think ahead.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is just go mind benders?
I never use mind benders. I mean, there's some core principles you can apply, but I don't think you can say there's a single strategy. I mean, that's
definitely not.
The fun of Polytopia. Like, it's so replayable. There's so many scenarios. One thing doesn't fit all. You have to plan ahead. You have to build your economy. Don't buy a tech unless you need it. That's the number one mistake a lot of noobs do. They're like, I want to buy all this tech. And
but it's a fancy new tech.
You're not going to use it.
I'll use it 20 turns later.
Yeah, great. No. And be smart with your attacks. Attack to kill. Don't just attack and leave them in, I don't know, in that respect, it's a lot like chess. You have to set things up. So you're like, okay, if I move here, then they're going to defend here, and they're going to, and if they're going to siege, then I have to unsiege. So no, there's no one strategy, and I think actually thinking that way probably hinders your gameplay. Yeah,
definitely. So I take it you are against the idea of getting walls in your cities, then?
Don't get walls. Don't do it.
I won't say names, but I'm in a team game with some people, and one of them's good. The other's like, I got walls because I didn't need the stars. What? What do you mean don't need the stars? But mistakes happen. Hopefully people learn.
That's okay. I respect people who play the game casually and they're not competitive. I play the game with my children. I don't know if I tell a lot of people this, but my son is the one who introduced me to this game. Okay. And he reminds me of it all the time. Whenever he sees me playing, he says, "Mom, you owe me for telling you about that game."
Trying to rack up all those favors.
It never fails. He always reminds me. But sometimes we'll play Pass and Pay or something if we're waiting for something. And my kids always say, "I want to play Peace."
What? Boo!
Which means glory, and you're not allowed to attack anyone. And that's how they like to play. And I respect that. I'm like, okay, if that's fun for you, we'll play Peace. And inevitably, one of them changes their mind about halfway through the game and attacks me and thinks they're being all clever.
I take it you usually win still?
Oh, yeah, I destroy them. Handling. But I said, if you attack me, then you ask for it.
You're behaving like the bots.
Yeah.
You just leave them alone and then, you attack me? All right, full frontal force, go!
Yeah. Again, I totally respect casual players who are not competitive. Like, there's lots of ways to enjoy the game. That's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of like ranked games myself, but that takes up quite a bit of time. And with doing all my Polytopia content, writing the server, and season games, I'm pretty busy. So
yeah.
So would you say that before the reset, your ELO was about your skill level?
Yeah, I think before they reset, my ELO was around 1330. I'm definitely not the biggest Polytopia brain, for sure. Like, there are much smarter people than me.
Last question. So what would you say is your favorite part of the Polytopia fandom as a whole?
My favorite part is the multiplayer, being able to find skilled opponents who are my appropriate skill. And being able to challenge that critical thinking part of my brain so that my thinking skills can get improved. And again, having teammates or other people in the Polytopia community to learn and improve my multiplayer ability. So I guess that's my favorite part. But it's really difficult because I enjoy the art. Again, I probably write more fanfic than anybody else. And I do all the art contests. And I play PolyCraft. So that's like asking me to pick my favorite child. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, that is a fair comparison.
I love all of my children. And I love the competitive part of Polytopia. I love the art part of Polytopia. I love just the community chatter, just people shooting the breeze and procrastinating.
All right, that's all the questions I had. Anything for me?
No, but I will want to hear more about what your plans are for the podcast. Oh, and I'll have to send you the port.
Oh, yes.
I will find that for you.
Yeah, I want to share it with all 240 some of my members and future people. All right, thank you again for your time.
Oh, sure. Tntmasta, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, people just refer to me as TNT usually. Thankfully, people don't just say Masta, because that's kind of weird in my opinion.
That's too much.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll stick with TNT. Well, it's been a pleasure, TNT. Oh, thanks for... Yeah.
One last question I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Why is your profile picture an orange pepper?
Oh, okay. There's a story with this.
Oh, boy.
So I changed it in September. So there's two reasons why I changed it. The main reason was Gomez, I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but he's the former tribe leader of Imperius. He does amazing fan art. I don't know if you've seen Gomez's fan-made tribes, and he won the skins contest. So we were chatting, and I told him how I'm IMO, but the IMO fruit is a pepper, and I do not like spicy food. I cannot tolerate any spicy anything. I don't like garlic. I don't like wasabi. I don't like any of that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like hard for me. I'm like the IMO person, but I don't like spicy peppers. But I said I do like sweet bell peppers. Like those I love. I'll eat them just like an apple. So Tntmasta said he would make me a Polytopia version of a bell pepper. So it could be like an IMO thing, but not a spicy one, which I thought that was wonderful. So he made that for me. I made it my PFP. But the other reason why is my previous profile picture. I don't know if you remember it. Do you know what it was?
I don't remember offhand.
It was a My Little Pony, and I got a lot of rude comments about my gender and my sexuality. And I got tired of defending the fact that, no, I'm not a teenage boy who's a brony and into furry play. Like, actually, I'm just an adult woman who happens to have fan interests in other things like video games and comics and Dungeons and Dragons and other frivolous pursuits like My Little Pony. I mean, it's mostly from my kids. Like, I had 2 kids who were really big My Little Pony fans. And we watched all of My Little Pony shows and I read all the comics. So, yeah, I'm a fan of My Little Pony, but it's hard having a PFP, a profile pic, and people assume a lot of things about you. I picked something that was a little more ambiguous, I guess. And then people stopped asking me rude comments.
Yeah. That's kind of another reason why I just baby dragon tier. There we go. I'm raising awareness for dragon cruelty. Put onto the Illyrian server. No. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whatever.
But I'm very happy with my current one, and I'm a big fan of Tntmasta. He makes wonderful art, so I'm happy to have a Polytopia bell pepper made by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I haven't seen it anywhere besides on your profile. All right. Thank you very much for your time, and wow.
My pleasure. I look forward to hearing the finished product.
It'll be posted, and I'll let you know when I do.
Excellent. All right, have a good rest of your day, TNT. Thanks for having me.
You as well, Espark. Bye.
Bye-bye.
As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, feel free to share it. For the text version, you can join my Discord in the description. I also have a YouTube channel where I play 1v1s and occasionally do tutorials. We'll be back next week. Bye!